All right, so with this 20G here, if you remember, the issue is that the hydraulic shaft was not turning where it comes out of the transmission. So in order to figure out the problem, we have no choice but to take the engine off and investigate the shaft. All right, so we got the 20G over here by the garage, and we're going to take this engine off the back. So I've disconnected the fuel line, the choke and throttle cable, all the wires. There's a wire that goes to the starter, wires that go to the charging system and the low oil pressure sensor. So everything's disconnected. I got the bottom two bolts that hold the engine in out. Put a jack under there and see if we can pull the engine out. I'm not going to do it on film. You've seen me do it before. So I'll come back after it's out. Well, here's the problem. The previous person that repaired this, I don't know who it is. I don't think it was the owner. I think it was a dealer. They got so much RTV silicone between the engine and the transmission. I don't know if you can see that little orange brownish layer that I can't even budge the engine free from the transmission. It's totally frozen on there. So what do I do? Do I just let it sit here and let gravity sag on it for a day and see if it loosens it up? Do I start jacking on it and prying on it? I just jacked the whole tractor off the ground on the oil pan and it didn't budge the thing at all. So this is not going to be easy. Well, after letting it sit for about a day, let's see, I did it yesterday morning and it's like almost 5 o'clock today. So I noticed that, I didn't have the jack on it. I just had it under it here. I was hoping the gravity would go loose on it, and I just grabbed it and gave it a twisting motion. I went like this about twice and it loosened up. So let me see if I can pull the sucker out without dropping the gear into the tranny, and we'll go from there. I'm gonna do it off camera. All right, so I got the engine off and the gear did fall off in the transmission, but the key stuck in the gear, so I was able to just pull it right out. Anyways, let's look at this beautiful coffee oil. So, you think that transmission oil needs to be changed? Oh my gosh, that is horrible. Anyways, we're gonna use the little pump and pump it out. Let me get this engine out of the way here first. Now, look at how much silicone they had on this sucker. I mean, this thing is covered with it from head to toe. So that's why I could not get it off. Anyways, I got it. This little Harbor Freight pump works good for pumping the oil out of these transmissions. If I knew it was this bad, I would have drained it through the drain plug, but this makes it easy. You don't have to jack it up or anything. It's actually working really quickly too. There's some nasty stuff in there, I'll tell you that much.
Still coming. All right, let's take a look in that transmission. And let's see here. Let me pull this hose out of there. I mean, I got most of it out. We'll get the rest out with the real drain plug. And it's a good thing I took this off because, as I suspected, when I was playing with the shaft out here, I ended up knocking this gear off the thing. I'm going to fish that out. Well, anyway, just sitting down here, right there. You see the gear? And up here is the shaft that we're trying to pull out. So off camera, I'm going to pull them out. Be right back. Well, I learned some really bad news here. Check this out. So, this is the gear that was in there. It's like totally destroyed, as in whatever it was meshing with destroyed it. It's missing a tooth. And this is the PTO shaft, which appears to be sheared off over here. And I have a feeling that it sheared kind of in that area, because there's no way that's long enough. There's not even, oops, keep dropping it, slippery. There's not even a keyway on this end here where it would interface with the gear. So that tells me that there's a half of this shaft in the transmission, and it tells me that there's a tooth from this gear in the transmission. And like, good luck finding that crap, right? And what gear does that thing mesh with? Is that gear destroyed? So there's more questions than answers. It must mesh with either this gear or the big gear right next to it. So you can see the bearing there where it goes out of the case. I can't spin any of these clutches here on a, I don't think. Let me see if I can spin it. Yeah, we can kind of look at those teeth here, and I guess they don't look destroyed, so that's good news. There's a lot of wear on them, though. Can you see the wear? There's definitely wear on those teeth. So the question is, where the heck is the rest of these parts? They gotta be in the bottom of the case. That's the only solution here. So again, I don't know if I pull the real drain pin out of this thing, if I'll find some metal in the bottom, but that's the next step here. Fun. I love this kind of fun.
So to sum up the damage that I think occurred here, I really think that the snap ring that goes on the outside of the hydraulic shaft either was never put on when someone took this tractor apart. That's probably it, or it fell off. I doubt it would fall off because it would be sitting in there somewhere. I have a feeling that someone never put the snap ring on there, and there was RTV behind that hydraulic pump, like someone had been in there before. So someone screwed it up, I think, and that allowed the shaft to like slide into the transmission, which made that gear come out of where it's supposed to mesh, and maybe it was moving in and out, I don't know, but it definitely is messed up, you know? And I don't know if the gear was sitting in the transmission to begin with, or if I made it fall off, because I grabbed the shaft on the outside and I pushed it in. And again, I don't know if that knocked the gear off. I don't think it did. I think that shaft sheared off or something, but there should also be a clip on the inside of that shaft. There's 2 clips on that shaft, and there's no clips on it right now. So, you know, I really think it sheared off inside. So my gut feeling is that when the outside shaft let loose, the gear slid in and hit the other gear, and then somehow it snapped off that shaft, and that was it, the end. So we'll have to figure out how we're going to put a different shaft in there and fix it.